students, today we are going to discuss about the which chapter? Yes, we are going to discuss about the classification of living beings from grade 9 Science and Technology. In previous class also we discussed about this classification like taxonomy and also 5 kingdom system we have discussed, and in which criteria these organisms are classified, that also we have discussed. And in 5 kingdom system we have learned about the different kingdoms. What are those 5 kingdoms? Can you say? Yes, what are those? Monera, Protista, fungi, plant and animal kingdom. 5 kingdom we have already known about these five kingdoms. So how we have classified those 5 kingdoms? Yes, all the living organisms are classified into mainly 2 groups. What are those? Based on the cell structure, these are classified into 2 groups. Those are prokaryotes and eukaryotes. And those organisms which have prokaryotic cells, those are called prokaryotes, and these are kept under kingdom Monera. Yes, just recall it. And again these eukaryotes are classified into 2 groups. What are those? Unicellular and multicellular. Okay, those all which have unicellular structure all are kept under kingdom Protista, and those which have multicellular structure again classified into 3 kingdom. What are those 3 kingdom? Can you say? Yes, fungi, then plant or plantae and kingdom Animalia. So there we have learned about this 5 kingdom system. See, first prokaryotes all belongs to Monera. Eukaryotes in that which have unicellular structure, they belongs to Protista, and in multicellular again we divide into them into how many? 3 kingdom based on the presence of cell wall and absence of cell wall as well as their nutrition type. So fungi, plantae and Animalia. So today we just discuss about the 3 kingdom, those are Monera, Protista and fungi. Okay. My dear students, already you know something about this Monera, Protista and fungi, and you have seen these fungi in your surrounding also. So first of all, what are Monera? Can you say some characteristics? Yes, Monera means those organisms which have only prokaryotic cell. What is prokaryotic cell? Yes, all of you know that prokaryotic cell means which do not have a definite nucleus. Okay, see here, once there are different kinds of Monera here, it is given in the picture. First, these all are bacteria. Okay, see, these are just small round shape, spherical shape, and these spherical shape bacteria are coccus. Okay, and some are spindle shaped also, and some are comma shaped, some are rod shaped. In this way there are various types of bacteria. Even in the bacteria they have different structure also. Okay, once we see how the prokaryotic cell is and how the Monera cell is actually. Just I said all the Monera have the prokaryotic cell. Just see here. If we see the structure of these organisms, we see just very simple structure. they do not have a complete or fixed nucleus or definite nucleus. They have genetic material as a DNA which is freely present in the cytoplasm, and they do not have any double membrane cell organelles. Just they have some food vacuoles, and there is some 70S type of ribosome is present, and other just like mitochondria, plastids, all those are absent in a prokaryotic cell. And this cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. Okay, here see the structure is very simple. Do you see here any nucleus? No, but this is a DNA which is a genetic material of this Monera which is freely present in the cytoplasm. Okay, and there are no other double membrane cell organelles, and some have some small hairy outgrowth just like we call pili, and some have like flagella which help them to locomote. So in this way they have very simple structure. If we see the organisms, see here they are very simple in structure. Then some characteristics of these Monera are, these are, what are these? Prokaryotic organisms. They do not have a definite nucleus, and these organisms do not have definite nucleus in their cell, but how they reproduce. See, just now I said there is DNA as a genetic material. This will replicate and they help in the reproduction. And there is also these organisms can survive in the extreme condition too. That means they can survive even in the very high temperature, salty places, as well as even in the marshy places. So these are growing in the extreme condition also. And these organisms possess different kind of nutrition, even though these are very primitive organisms, just prokaryotic organism, but they possess various type of nutrition. Like they possess autotrophic nutrition, they possess parasitic nutrition, saprotrophic nutrition, as well as symbiotic. That means based on the organism. Just now we have seen the picture above, that means before picture, just once you see here there are different types of bacteria. Yeah, some possess chlorophyll, like here it is possessing chlorophyll. So this can prepare its own food. Which possess chlorophyll, they can prepare their own food, those are called autotrophs. And those which do not possess chlorophyll, they have the heterotrophic nutrition, and those are also in different way. For example, some are saprotrophic. Sometimes you get some wound, it used to just, that means you find the pus coming out from the wound. How does it come? There is bacterial infection. Those bacteria decompose the cells which are present in the wound, and it used to survive over there. Such type of organisms, that means such type of bacteria are called saprotrophic. That means they are decomposing the dead cells and obtaining their food. Those are saprotrophic. And also some are parasitic. That means some organism, that means some bacteria used to reside inside the cell of our body. For example, sometimes we feel, that means sickness like typhoid, yes, tuberculosis, those are also caused by the bacteria. They are parasite, they are residing in our body or other organisms' body also, and they cause some diseases. They used to obtain their food from those body and they survive over there. Such type of nutrition is called parasitic nutrition. And another one is symbiotic nutrition. That means some bacteria grow inside the human body also. For example, E. coli, okay, that used to reside inside our abdominal cavity or stomach, you can say. It used to produce some vitamins which are required for our body, and they used to take food from our body, there is symbiotic association. Another example of symbiotic association is, you may have heard about the leguminous plant. Have you heard? Yes, leguminous plants means soya bean, beans, etc. Okay, where they used to possess root system which have root nodules. Okay, if you just pick out the plants, that means soya bean plant from the soil, you find like this structure over there. Okay, small nodules are seen over there, and inside these nodules, root nodules, there are bacteria like rhizobium bacteria. Have you heard? Inside these root nodules, there are rhizobium bacteria. These rhizobium bacteria which are present in these leguminous plants help to absorb the atmospheric nitrogen. That means that process is called nitrogen fixation, which is very essential nutrient of the plant. That means the primary nutrient of plant is nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Those nitrogen which are present in the atmosphere, this bacteria absorb and are synthesized on the soil. That means they bring those nitrogen into the soil, and these plants absorb that nitrogen to prepare their food. Okay, so there is also, and these bacteria obtaining food from those leguminous plant. So there is also symbiotic association. This type of nutrition is called symbiotic nutrition. And just like, see, these autotrophic bacteria are green in color. Okay, they already I have told you. And parasite which used to be in the other's body and obtain the food, and saprotrophic, those which used to decompose the dead cells and obtain the food, and another one is symbiotic, which used to be in the mutual relation with others, and both organisms are getting benefited. Okay, next, this kingdom Monera are again classified into 3 groups. Those are Archaebacteria, Eubacteria and Cyanobacteria. Okay, see here, this kingdom Monera are again classified into, based on their structure, nutrition, these are classified into 3 subgroups. Those are Archaebacteria, Eubacteria and Cyanobacteria. See, these Archaebacteria are the very primitive bacteria, ancient bacteria, and they used to, that means they were originated very anciently, and they are autotrophs. They can prepare their own food. Okay, in case of Eubacteria, these are called true bacteria. Okay, and these true bacteria are of that they possess different kind of nutrition, just we have discussed. Okay, like saprotrophic, autotrophic, all types, symbiotic, those, and cyanobacteria. These looks like algae, but they have the prokaryotic cell, so they belongs to Monera, and these are named as cyanobacteria. Okay, let's discuss about the Archaebacteria. Already I have told you that these are the very ancient bacteria, and they can grow in very extreme condition too. That means the extreme habitat, like very high temperature. Okay, even that means generally in high temperature the organisms cannot grow. Every organisms have some optimum temperature to grow, but these organisms, that these Archaebacteria can grow even at very high temperature, and even in the salty area also. That means we used to use salt, high temperature, those to store the food for a long time, preservation. Okay, but some bacteria like this Archaebacteria even grow on the very high temperature and even in the salty condition also, and some grow in the marshy places. And these bacteria, generally these are autotrophs, that means they can prepare their own food. And for example, Pyrolobus, Hypothermus and methanogenous. These are the some of the examples of this archaebacteria. See, this is thermoplasma. It used to grow in the very high temperature also. And methanococcus, it can grow in the even in the these marshy places also. So these are the some of the characteristics of archaebacteria. Okay, next one is eubacteria. Already I have told you, U means true. That is, these are all true bacteria, and these bacteria have the cell wall. Just I told you before, I have shown you the picture where there is a, it is the cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan, and these organism locomote through the flagella. They have flagella and just like hair-like structure which help them to move from one place to another place. For example, Rhizobium, Clostridium, these are the examples of eubacteria. See here, this is the flagella. This flagella help them to move from one place to another place. Okay, and these are the true bacteria. They are prokaryotic and they have DNA in their cytoplasm. And next one is, there are another type of bacteria, that is cyanobacteria or Monera, another kind of Monera. These cyanobacteria are also called blue-green algae. These are also called blue-green algae. Okay, as they contain chlorophyll, they can prepare their own food. They are autotrophs. Okay, and these cyanobacteria, even though it is seen like a algae, but why they are kept inside the this Monera? Because they have the prokaryotic cell. In case of algae, they have eukaryotic cell. Okay, and they have double membrane cell organelles. So those are kept in the algae. But here these are look like algae, but they are not algae. Why? They have prokaryotic cell. They do not have double membrane cell organelles, but they have chlorophyll, so they can prepare their own food and looks green. So these are the some of the examples of these cyanobacteria are nostoc, Anabina, Spirulina are the cyanobacteria. Okay, next one is another kingdom. What is the next kingdom? Yes, Protista. Have you seen these organisms in your laboratory through the microscope? Have you observed? We can't see these organisms through our naked eyes. These are unicellular organisms. Have you seen? We can observe them under the microscope if we have permanent slides. See, this is Euglena. Okay, it is unicellular. All the functions of its body is performed by the single cell. And this is Paramecium. This also perform its all function through single cell. And this is Amoeba. This also performs same. And this is Chlamydomonas. These all are looking different, but common characteristic of this organism is they are made up of single cell. These are unicellular. So all these belongs to kingdom Protista. Then what are the characteristics of kingdom Protista? All of you know that these all are eukaryotes and these are unicellular. These are unicellular organisms having permanent nucleus. Just like in the Monera, they do not have the permanent nucleus. They have DNA as genetic material, but here they have a prominent nucleus having nuclear membrane. Let's see the structure of one organism here. This is the amoeba which belongs to Protista. These organisms have a definite nucleus, okay, which is covered with nuclear membrane. This one is the nuclear membrane and they have genetic material inside the nucleus. This is nucleus and they have other cell organelles like contractile vacuole which help in the excretion. And similarly, they have mitochondria. They have mitochondria which help in respiration. They also have the food vacuoles which store the food materials, and they have pseudopodia. See, these false legs. These are small appendages which we called as pseudopodia. These pseudopodia help them to locomote, that means move from one place to another place, as well as capturing food. These organisms, that means this is an amoeba. This amoeba is holozoic nutrition, that means it performs holozoic nutrition. So, these pseudopodia help in the ingestion of food, okay, and this pseudopodia also help in the locomotion. And this, see, this is contractile vacuole. This contractile vacuole helps in excretion. So, from single cell it performs all the kind of functions which are performed in the living organism. So, these organisms have, that means all the cell organelles are enclosed inside the cell membrane. See, this is outer membrane which is called cell membrane or pellicle, which covers all cell organelles inside it. There is cytoplasm also, and in this way this unicellular organism perform their all physiological function. And here amoeba is locomoting through the pseudopodia, but other organisms may locomote through the cilia or they may locomote through the flagella too. And these organisms, that means mainly they perform different types of nutrition like parasitic, free living, which are heterotrophic nutrition, and some are autotrophs also. Just we have seen in the above picture. See, here this is euglena. It has chloroplast or chlorophyll which can prepare its own food. So, these are autotrophs. And it has flagella which can move through the flagella. And this is paramecium. It has fine hairy structure. These are called cilia, and these cilia help them to move. And another one is, just now I have drawn here, this is amoeba which have pseudopodia which help in the locomotion. And here this is Chlamydomonas, it has flagella, it can move from one place to another place with the help of flagella, and they have chlorophyll which can photosynthesize the food. So, in this way they have various type of nutrition as well as they perform locomotion through the various organs too. So, these organisms are, that means diverse. Even though these are unicellular organism, different organisms have different characteristics, okay, and that means some are parasite too. For example, have you heard Entamoeba stolytica, okay, which cause diarrhea also, and Plasmodium which cause malaria. Those are parasite. They used to be inside our body and it cause diseases. They get food from us, and but they give us negative effect, that is we will suffer from the certain diseases when those protists enter into our body. Those are parasites, okay. Those parasites obtain the food from the host cell, that means host cell means in which they are residing, they are growing, they are surviving, those are called host cells, okay. And some zooplanktons which are present inside the water, they are heterotrophs just like amoeba, they used to perform holozoic nutrition. Already you know that what is holozoic nutrition, we have already discussed in the previous class, that is their holozoic nutrition is completed in 5 steps. What are those? Ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. Those protists which perform those functions, those are heterotrophs as well as they used to perform the holozoic nutrition. And these protists reproduce asexually as well as sexually. They reproduce asexually as well as sexually. Asexually means You know that. That means from the single cell also they can, without fusion of male and female gamete, they used to reproduce by sporulation. Okay, and some reproduce by fission, by dividing one cell into two cells, and some used to reproduced by binary fission or multiple fission. All of you know that what is fission. Yeah, in grade 8 also we have learned. Say if one cell divide and form two daughter, that means two next living organisms, that means daughter cells, this is fission. Single one divide into two, this is binary fission. It is a kind of asexual reproduction. And if one divide and many cells are formed or many new organisms are formed, then it is called multiple fission. This kind of reproduction seen in this protist, like in amoeba we can find out multiple fission, in euglena we can find out binary fission, and in case of plasmodium we can find sporulation, and in case of paramecium we can find out conjugation. That means there is a fusion of two plus, that means two nuclei, and they used to reproduce. That is considered as a sexual reproduction. Okay, in this way they perform various type of asexual reproduction as well as sexual reproduction. Some examples of this protist already you have seen, that is amoeba, euglena, paramecium, plasmodium, entamoeba. Those are the examples of protista. Okay, next, this kingdom protista are also classified into three subgroups. Those are animal like protist, okay, which looks like animal, that means most of the characteristic resembles with the animals. For example, paramecium and amoeba. And another group is plant like protist, which resembles with plants, like having chlorophyll, performing photosynthesis, autotrophic nutrition, for example, euglena and chlamydomonas. And another subgroup, that is fungi like protist. They looks like fungi, but they are protist. Okay, and for example, slime mold and water mold. These are the different groups of protista. Next one is, which kingdom is left? Yes, fungi. In kingdom fungi, what kind of organisms are there? See, once you see there, see in this slide, how is it? Where it is growing? How it is? Yes? See, these all, if you see all these 5 pictures, you don't find in any organism there is chlorophyll. Do you find any chlorophyll here? Is these organisms are green in color? No. And these organisms are, see, without chlorophyll, but they have cell wall, okay, and they are heterotrophs. Even inside the heterotrophs are also there are various groups. Those are saprotrophs. See, all are growing in the organic matters, like in a soil where there is organic matter is present. And like dead part or the trunk of the tree. Similarly, this is bread piece where there is small, you can see find molds, and here this is another kind of fungi which is growing on the bark of tree, and this is another kind of fungi which is enlarged, and in this way the fungi do not have chlorophyll but they have cell wall. These are eukaryotes and they belongs, all those organisms having those characteristics belong to kingdom fungi. Then what are the characteristics of this kingdom fungi? Already we have discussed about the eukaryotes. These are also eukaryotes, and these are also, some are unicellular but most of them are multicellular. Like that means unicellular yeast, we find yeast as a unicellular, other there are so many are multicellular, like mushroom, yes, mold, other, can you see some? mucor, those are what? Multicellular fungi. See, this fungi has the thallus body. Then what is thallus body? Have you heard? Yes. Do you see this one? See? This is a fungi, okay, which is growing on the, yes, straw of the paddy. Is it? So, here see, can you divide it into different parts like root, stem, leaves or head, trunk, thorax, etc.? Can you? No. See, this is the thallus body. It is a mass of tissue which cannot be differentiated into different parts. See, this is mushroom, yeah. Can you divide its body into different parts like animals and plants? No. Yes, it is undifferentiated. This type of structure is called thallus body. That means thallus body means which cannot be differentiated into different parts. All parts are similar. And its body is made up of mycelium. What is mycelium? See, what is mycelium? Just see. There are small fine thread like structures are present. If we take out in this way, this is called mycelium, okay. Fine threads you can see obtained like this, okay. So, this type of structure is called thallus body, and that thallus body is containing what? Mycelium. And these are generally saprotrophic. Already you know that what is saprotrophic. They used to grow in the dead and decaying organic matter. Have you seen mushroom growing in the dry places? Even though those mushrooms which are growing on the jungle or somewhere else also grow during rainy season. Why? They need some moisture to grow, okay, and more humidity is required, high temperature is required. So, because of that, generally we see the mushroom growing in our land or in the jungle also during rainy season, okay. Similarly, when we grow artificially, we need some organic matters like straw of the paddy, some dead trunk of the trees. In that way, these are growing as they decompose those dead bodies of the plants and animals and they grow over there. That is why these are called saprotrophic organisms. And these fungi also reproduce asexually as well as sexually. That means asexually through spores and sexually by plasmogamy. And next, plasmogamy means fusion of two cells, okay. There is no male gamete, female gamete separately, but they fuse together and they used to produce the new young one. Such type of reproduction we considered as a sexual reproduction. And when they get more food, if they have more glucose in their body, they convert into glycogen and store as a storage food, okay. And generally this fungus body is made up of, that means the cell wall is made up of chitin, okay. And these organisms again classified into three groups. These fungi are also classified into three groups. Those three groups are, what are those? Saprotrophic fungi. Already you know that saprotrophic means, yeah, which are growing in the especially dead bodies of the plants and animals. Those are, for example, mucor, mushroom, etc. And another subgroup is parasitic fungi. Have you heard about the dandruff? Yes, which used to grow in our head, yeah. That dandruff is also a fungus which is parasite in our head, okay. Similarly, in other animals body also some fungus grow. Those fungi are called parasitic fungi. And for example, here see over the ant there is some fungus are growing, and Here example Poxinia, Taphrina, etc. Okay. Another group is symbiotic fungi. What are symbiotic fungi? That means just like in the other organism, here also they used to reside with the other organism. They grow with other organism with mutual relationship. Both are benefited with each other. For example, lichen. Here say symbiotic fungi have this is the lichen. That means the association between the fungi and algae is called lichen. Here both organisms are benefited. Okay. Here what happens? In case of these organisms, they are interdependent with each other. That means one depends for something and another depends for another thing. But both are benefited. And in this case, for example, in case of algae and fungi, what happens? Algae get habitation on the fungi and it used to photosynthesize the food. Those photosynthesized food, that is carbohydrate, is absorbed by the fungi. That means fungi is providing habitation and algae is providing food to the fungi. So they are mutually benefited. So this type of relation is called symbiotic relation, and the relation between the algae and fungi is called lichen. And we have discussed about the three kingdom. Okay, just what we have learned, just check with some questions. The first question is, mushroom belongs to kingdom dash. There are 4 kingdoms are given, say Plantae, fungi, Monera, Protista. Which kingdom? Just we have discussed. Yes, it is fungi. Next question. Why does Euglena belong to Protista? Already we have learned about the Euglena. Yes. Why does Euglena belong to Protista? Yes, which is the correct answer? Euglena is unicellular. Euglena contain chlorophyll. Euglena is an aquatic organism. Euglena depend on other organism. Yes. Which one is the correct answer? Yes, Euglena is unicellular. Next question. Which of the following characteristic make cyanobacteria to keep in Monera? Yes, it contains chlorophyll, it is aquatic, it is filamentous, it does not contain definite nucleus. Yes, which one is the correct answer? Very good. It does not contain definite nucleus, so it belongs to kingdom Monera. Next question. Which kingdom does organism shown in the figure belong to? See here, one organism is shown. This is white color, yeah, and some are black. And in which kingdom it belong? Can you guess? Very good. It is fungi. It belongs to fungi. Okay, we have discussed about the 3 kingdom. Yes, that is which kingdoms? Monera, Protista and fungi. I hope all of you have learned very well. Today we stop here. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.